Okay, so on this foundation of allowing and surrendering, I want to go through four specific points. So, first off, we have to pay attention to our triggers. We all have triggers. We must practice awareness of our triggers because you can't change or you can't manage or you can't improve what you don't notice. So, the first thing is to notice the things that make you impatient. Now, this also like we have again, we always talk about the levels. I'm not saying it makes me impatient when my children whine. Well, yeah, none of us like that. But the key is it's actually not your children's whining that makes you impatient. Impatient. Do you know what it is? Your lack of sleep, your hangriness, your
Overwhelm.
overwhelm, your inner wounds from your childhood. I'm trying to emphasize that the impatience comes from within, which means the problem is within, not without. It's not outside. It's not what's happening out here that's causing you to be impatient. It's what's happening in here that is causing the impatience. So when
You
we
can read your thoughts. Some of you are like, "Yes, it is. It's them.
it's
It's not me.
definitely
It's the whining. That's what does it. Otherwise, I'm so happy and peaceful."
well, okay, I'm going to use an example that I think applies. It's kind of an extreme example, but go with me here. If Greg and I were to come upon I'm going to be a little graphic, bloody, injured, disgusting body, we would respond in very different ways. Now, you might think, well, no, it's this injured body. Okay, we were just at a wedding in London and we met this really cool guy who's in charge of it's called the World Extreme Medicine. And he does extreme medicine. It's like wilderness medicine. While we're having dinner, he pulls up a picture of this guy in Nepal that got swiped across the face by a bear, and half of his face is missing, legitimately. And it's like bloody, blah, blah, blah.
So, and from like a trauma surgeon who like
He's just
spends
like, yeah, look at
the
this.
last 40 years rescuing like people from the most intense things, he's like, "Oh, here's just a normal picture."
Now, it was very
The table, or
interesting. Well, it was very interesting to me that the different responses each person had. Now, the picture, yes, it's a catalyst, it's a trigger, but we all have different responses based on our own personal experiences. This guy that's showing the picture, he's just like, yeah, he was there in person. He took the picture. Greg has done tons of that kind of stuff. He's been to this guy's conferences. He worked on an ambulance. So he's just like, no big deal. I actually have been,
I was actually really fascinated
yeah,
by. I was thinking airway. I'm like, how's the airway going? I'm starting
because
to
his
go through
nose is
physiology,
missing and,
anatomy,
all
and
this
I'm
stuff.
going through treatment procedures. Like
Right.
it was just normal.
Now, me, interestingly, I was not disgusted by it as much as I used to have been in the past because and this is weird, I've been intentionally desensitizing myself with violent movies as a strategy to reduce my disgust sensitivity to stuff like that.
Emergencies.
Like I've been doing that on purpose. And so I was surprised that I actually I could look at the photo without being disgusted by it or feel sick. So I just looked at it. I was like, "Oh, okay, interesting." The guy next to me was like gagging. He was like, "Right?" So I'm using this as an illustration that we often believe that the thing, the stimulus, the trigger is what's causing our reaction. But the reality is it's our own experience, history. It can even be something as lack of sleep, hunger that is causing our reaction, not the stimulus. So the same people can respond to a whining child in different ways based off of their training, their skills, their mindset, their reframing. And in fact, me, the same person, can respond in different ways depending on my lack of sleep, my lack of eating, my level of overwhelm. So I am the determining factor. So I began to see that if I was being impatient, it wasn't my children's fault. it was something I needed to address within myself. Oh, maybe I need a nap. Maybe I need a snack. Maybe I need to reduce the number of things I'm saying yes to. Maybe I need to stop trying to control everything. Maybe I need to fill in the blank. So the first step here is we have to pay attention to our triggers and then basically ask ourselves, like, why is this triggering me? Why is this something that bothers me? Why does this make me feel like I'm out of control? What kind of unmet need do I have that I need to address so I can come to a place of authentic patience? Because I'm sure we've also all experienced being in this state where we're like, I feel good. I'm happy. I've slept. And of course, yes, it's easier when everybody's happy and getting along. But, you're in this place where it's so much easier to just, handle the problems. Maybe it's a certain time of the month as well, the good time of the month. Um, the key that I'm trying to point to here is we can actually be more intentional instead of allowing those or just having those things show up randomly. We can be intentional about creating and cultivating those happier states so that we exist and parent from that state. You guys understand what I mean by the word state? Like it's just your overall physiology of like
Mental, emotional,
mental,
physical state.
emotional, physical. I want you to understand, like I want you to hang this up and live on this hope because it's true. We can be so intentional and so strategic that we can make that at least something we do 80% of the time. Now, we're never going to be perfect. We're going to have our off days. We're going to like struggle, but we can be more strategic. We can be more intentional so that we can parent that way 80% of the time. It is possible. I just want you to know that it is possible. Some very key ingredients to that. One, not worrying about what other people think. And I think that that's the hardest thing. And I fully resonate with that because I was that person. Like I was worried about what everyone else was thinking. Greg will tell you, I hate making a scene in public, right? Like I can't stand it. So if my kids start doing something in public, that was my go to of like, oh no, they're making a scene. People are watching me. But
So
if we
so
can
much
learn
so, you
to,
guys, that we can't even disagree about anything in public.
it has to be in
And she's
private.
like, "I like this one." I'm like, "Oh, I like this one." "Don't make a scene." I'm
Don't
like,
make a scene.
"Hey, I like the blue better." "Stop. Just we
You're
can talk
making
about
a
this in
scene. And
private."
then he starts laughing. We're like, what are you doing? No.
So, next, you have to have regulation tools. You can do breath work, you can shift your posture, you can take a 3-second pause, you just do some breathing, like a box breathing or just whatever. You can just close your eyes for a minute and just release. These are specific things you can do. So if you catch yourself about to blow up, just pause.
Well,
Take some
okay, wait.
breath. Nope.
Except not, no, I have to interject. You can't do it when you're about to explode. You need to do it before.
As it's building.
We need to pause earlier on. And don't be like me when I used to think, that's like foo foo la la blah 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 and discount it. It really works. So let's just be strategic about actually using it instead of thinking it's so simple that it's not
That
effective.
it's not effective. It's so powerful. Okay, next, do a mindset shift. Remember, we're reframing the misbehavior and we're seeing it as a signal, not as a threat.
But then the other thing too is like, okay, what's this what is this behavior telling me? Because like we keep saying, it's a symptom. What are they trying to communicate to you because they don't know how to tell you, "Mom, I'm really tired and overwhelmed and I need your attention." They can't do that. They don't have those words. So they
Right.
act
Yeah,
out.
it's not a personal attack, not a threat for you. It's not about you. And instead of thinking, oh, she's just giving me a hard time, it's pausing and saying, man, it seems like she's having a hard
Yeah.
time. Total different reframe. I love
Mhm.
that.
Mhm.
Okay. And then practice this in low stakes moments. So
Practice patience.
you practice being patient when you notice something's happening, let's say it's a safe environment, it's in your house, it's in your living room, and the kids are squabbling over something small, and so it's not a big deal. It's like it's one of those simulations you do where everything's safe, it's low stakes, and you're like, instead of like me reacting or leaving or whatever, I'm gonna sit with this. I'm gonna be right here present and let this play out. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my breathing, I'm gonna do my reframing. I'm literally gonna practice all my mind, body, and spirit things so that I'm literally becoming more patient.
Right. So Christy mentioned meditation, and that is a powerful tool. I actually meditate every day, but we can kind of do these little mini meditations, if we want to call them that. Like our child's tying their shoes and they're taking forever.
Do themselves
It's like, okay,
or putting them around feet.
let me have this moment of meditation to practice my patience. Let me have some breathing. Let me reframe this and look at, like, oh, look how cute she is learning this new skill of life, like we tell ourselves a different story so that it becomes a positive experience instead of a negative experience.